Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you at the start of another week. And it's been a very, very good weekend for Arsenal. They haven't even kicked a ball, and it's been a very, very good weekend for Arsenal. You can't complain too much about that, can you? Certainly in the race for the top four, things couldn't have gone much better when it comes to results elsewhere, involving the sides sort of in and around Arsenal in the league table. Tottenham losing at home to Wolves, although having said that, that does give Wolves a bit of a boost, and Wolves are certainly in the running as well, potentially for a top four spot. Have that game against Arsenal coming up on Thursday week, which will be very, very important in regards to that. But yeah, Wolves winning at Spurs, Man United dropping points again at home to Southampton, giving away a lead yet again. West Ham as well drawing at Leicester, did get an equaliser in that one to draw 2-2, but still dropping points, and that's exactly what Arsenal would have wanted without even playing. They'd have been looking at those results, hoping maybe that one or two could drop points, but the fact all three of them dropped points, you know, Mikel Arteta, I'm sure whatever he was doing yesterday, he was a very happy man at looking at those results, and it puts Arsenal in a very good position in the league table ahead of the game against Brentford, certainly on Thursday, and then that match against Wolves coming up. I mean, looking at the league table here, West Ham played 25, 41 points. They're in fourth. Man United in fifth. They've moved ahead of Arsenal with that point against Southampton, but they've got, played 24 games, 40 points. Arsenal 2 games in hand on United, only 1 point behind them, only playing 22. Tottenham now 3 points behind Arsenal, having played the same amount of games. Wolves 2 points behind Arsenal, having played a game more. I hate to say it, but at this stage, it's in Arsenal's hands, isn't it? I mean, a long, long way to go. Still 16 matches to go, but still it is in Arsenal's hands, and that is a nice position to be in. A couple of really big games coming up for Arsenal. Home to Brentford, home to Wolves. You've got to be taking 6 points from those games, really. I mean, we know Wolves are going to be very, very difficult. They responded very well to that defeat against Arsenal with that win at Spurs. I watched the highlights of it, and they absolutely hammered Spurs. I mean, Spurs were abysmal. 3 defeats in a row for Conte and for Spurs now. They're looking a right shower at the moment. They always look a shower. Wolves, I thought, responded really well and looked a very good team. And I think that showed how important, how good, impressive Arsenal's win was at Wolves, especially doing the last 20 odd minutes with 10 men, and that's why they celebrate. Honestly, this whole celebration gate, I just don't understand it. I don't get Wolves' complaints. It's really, really bizarre. They haven't stopped banging on about it since full time at Molineux. Straight away, Ruben Neves had a go before the even press conferences. So the manager, Ruben Neves, had already piped up and started having a go at the way Arsenal celebrated. Then Connor Cody was all over the radio the next day talking about it. I saw the Wolves social media team after they won at White Hart Lane yesterday. They tweeted a video of the celebrations and with the caption "celebrating the right way" and then the old wink emoji. It's just really bizarre. I don't get what Arsenal did wrong. I don't know why they're so annoyed about it. If Arsenal were like celebrating in their faces and punching the air or something, but it didn't look. I mean, look, I was a long way away, but from the replays, they just celebrated what was a really important win. They'd just come off a dreadful January. They hadn't won in January. 5 games without a win. Gone out of 2 cup competitions. Hadn't won in 2 in the Premier League. They went into that game against Wolves under an awful lot of pressure because of everything that had gone on in the transfer window. United and Spurs had dropped points leading up to it. It was a massive win for Arsenal, and they won away at one of their, a team competing for a top 4 spot, and they did it with 10 men for a massive amount of time in the second half. Is there any surprise they celebrated? And they just didn't. And they didn't celebrate any differently to what I've seen from them pretty much in every away game this season. Some of the players took their shirts off and gave them to the fans. And that was about it. It's so bizarre. People just seem to want to complain about everything at the moment. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. It's just a really bizarre one, and it's certainly going to add an extra little bit of spice, I would imagine, to the game next week. And I think the pre-match press conference will be funny. It will be interesting to see what both managers have got to say about it. I mean, I'm sure Arteta must be sitting there thinking this has been blown out of all sort of proportion. I don't understand it. I mean, Wolves are clearly annoyed Wolves, and so they're clearly going to be up for it at the Emirates. You would imagine they're going to have the team talk already pretty much done for them. Connor Cody, I'm sure, is going to be in everyone's ear, as he always is, about it, and they're going to come out really wanting to get some sort of revenge. And for what though? I don't understand. And Arsenal will have to deal with that. And hopefully Arsenal's team talk will be done as well, and saying, look at this lot being mouthing off for no reason. Let's win and then celebrate in their faces again, shall we? So yeah, it's all a bit bizarre. I don't really get it. And it's a weird one, but what are you going to do? Like I said, hopefully we can just win again on next Thursday night against them, and celebrate again, which will be quite funny. But yeah, in terms of top four race, I mean, it's been great for Arsenal, isn't it? And it's certainly going to add even more importance to that game against Brentford coming up on Sunday at the weekend. Really big one this for Arsenal. You've got to be looking at that against Brentford as 3 points. I mean, at all home games now, you've got to be trying to target 3 points, because it's just going to be so tight, this top four race between now and the end of the season. So many teams involved. But the fact that everyone's dropped points at the weekend, you've got to take advantage of that. And especially against the Brentford side, who, they got a draw at the weekend, didn't they? That was their first point in a while. They've been on a horrible run of form, Brentford, after that really strong start to the season. Maybe Christian Eriksen will play for them and make their debut for them, which will you'd think would improve them, although he's not played any sort of football for a long time. Whether he starts, I don't know, might come on the bench, but he'll certainly add a little bit of you think it'd just give him a boost, just having him involved one way or the other. So they'll have to deal with that, but still you're targeting this game as a must win for Arsenal. You can't, after dropping points against Burnley at home last time out, you've got to bounce back and win this home game. There's no point going to a really tough match like Wolves away and then dropping points at home to Brentford. So really important one for Arsenal. Hopefully going to be very, very strong once again. Don't know yet if Tomiyasu is going to be back for that one. I haven't seen or heard that he's been training, but hopefully he will be. But having said that, I thought Cedric played really, really well, as I said, at Wolves, and that's hopefully given him the confidence boost that he needed to have a strong second half of the season when called upon. But other than that, Arsenal should be in a really strong position squad-wise going into the Brentford game. I think it's going to be really important in that one that the forwards click and help themselves to a couple of goals. It'd be great for Lacazette to score, just to give himself a bit of a confidence boost after what happened at Wolves. There's no doubt he'll be disappointed. Well, he was disappointed. We saw his tweet on social media afterwards admitting he had to score that big chance in the second half. Hopefully, if he could get a goal, that would be really important for him and sort of kick him on during the second half of the season as well. And anyone else, going to be no Martinelli. We know that for Brentford, but it just feels like that's just going to be a straight swap. It's not going to be too difficult for Arteta, is it? It's just going to be Smith Rowe on the left, Odegaard at 10, Saka on the right, and then Lacazette as a central striker. So it's not too difficult when it comes to team selection at Brentford. Obviously, there's a lot of time to go between now and kick-off, so there could be injuries in training or anything like that. We won't be speaking to Mikel. I imagine, we haven't had the notification yet, but we imagine the press conference will be Thursday or Friday. They like to do it 48 hours early, and obviously the game's on Sunday, so you might look at it as a Friday morning press conference, but probably get notification of that at some point during the week. So I'll let you know in a later video when we will be hearing from Mikel, but that'll be when we get the official sort of team news. Whether Arsenal put up an update between now and then, I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll put out some training videos and pictures, and we'll all eagerly be looking to see if we can see Tomiyasu in any of those ones, because he is the main injury doubt when it comes to that game. Just a couple of other things to talk about before ending this one. I'm sure if you've been watching, well, wherever you're watching this around the world, you'd have heard what happened in the Super Bowl last night, certainly if you're based over in America. LA Rams beating Cincinnati Bengals in the final. A very happy Stan Kroenke, I'm sure. Well, we saw his interview he did out on the pitch. He received the trophy himself as the owner. Big boost for Stan Kroenke. Everything that he's gone through, taking the Rams to LA and all the legal battles and everything, spending all that money on the stadium, and then to have his team win the Super Bowl in the stadium. Only the second team, I think, to do that in their own stadium. Massive for Stan Kroenke. People are sort of looking at that and linking it to Arsenal. Will he be in a good mood and free up a load of money now? I don't think it's going to work that way, unfortunately. But still good for Kroenke. And just the Rams are interesting when you compare how they've sort of gone about business. Appointed Sean McVay a fair while ago, didn't they? He was the youngest coach in the league. There are the similarities there with Arteta and how they've tried to build the squad over time, and initially brought in a lot of good young players. From what I heard, I'm no NFL expert, but I remember speaking to someone. I was doing a piece on the Sean McVay appointment a while ago. I was speaking to someone over at ESPN in America who was talking to me about it, and he was saying it sort of started off with the squad building, bringing in a lot of good young players, and then they sort of moved away from that once that young base was there, and then they started adding some big hitters, spending big money on wages and adding some big hitters to really complement the young base that they'd built up, and that's what ultimately led them to this Super Bowl triumph. Whether there are similarities there, I think, but this summer's going to be, in terms of Arsenal, you're going to hope you're going to see some of the big hitters added to the younger players who have already been brought in, certainly when it comes to the striker department. But anyway, look, if you're an LA Rams fan and you're watching this, congratulations. Big win for you. Congratulations to Stan Kroenke as well. Hopefully now, you never know, like the people are suggesting, he might be all giddy and decide to celebrate by throwing £200 million at Edu and Mikel Arteta's way. Doubt it, but who knows. And finally, before I go, just Matt Turner, Arsenal's new signing. Arsenal still haven't confirmed this themselves, but it's been confirmed by New England Revolution. We knew it anyway, that he would be joining Arsenal at the end of the season. The US national team goalkeeper, 27-year-old keeper, he'll be coming in as competition for Aaron Ramsdale. Bernardo will be heading out in the summer. I think that's pretty much a given. But Matt Turner's been speaking about his move to Arsenal. If you haven't seen it yet, he said, "I always want to be able to challenge myself at the highest level I possibly can. It's been tough for goalkeepers to get moves, so I understand. I'm 27 and it's something I really want to do and really want to accomplish. At the same time, going into a World Cup year, you have to play smart. Going overseas and getting into a situation where maybe I'm not playing or maybe I don't adapt well to being in a foreign country before World Cup might be challenging. There's a lot of things I can take from the US and apply with the Revolution for the rest of 2022, and then going into World Cup after World Cup we can revisit. But the next 12 months, next 4 months, next whatever, if it makes sense, I would love to." Not quite sure what that means, the ending of it. But he's taking a risk. He admits he's taking a risk joining Arsenal in a World Cup year. He knows he's probably not going to be playing too many games. I mean, if Arsenal get into Europe, then hopefully he'll have the group stages. You imagine that's how it will work out. And well, that's if it's Europa League. I do wonder if it's Champions League. You'd imagine it's definitely going to be Ramsdale starting. But he will get games in the League Cup and things like that. Definitely a risk for him. I don't know too much about him, to be honest. People I've spoken to in America say he's a fantastic shot stopper. Maybe needs to iron out some other smaller, finer details of his game, but he's a fantastic shot stopper. He's the US number one, so he's obviously got something about him. Arsenal needed to do something. It's going to cost around $7 million. Arsenal knew that Bernardo's going to probably go in the summer, so they needed to do something. This is who they've opted for, and hopefully it turns out to be a slightly better option than Alex Runarsson was. But yeah, that's what Matt Turner has had to say about his move to Arsenal. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the start of your week. Hope it all goes well. Keep your eyes peeled for other videos as we progress towards Brentford at the weekend. Have a good day. I'll speak to you soon.